Hi, I'm Kevin O'Brien. I'm a New York-based fashion and beauty photographer. Today I'll be shooting a bit of men's fashion using some new tools by Creative Light. It was kind of an opportunity to work not so much in a separation of hue with colors, but it was a separation of tone, work in black and white, and shaping with the light and dark and the shadow on the gray background, where you have a darker shadow on one side and a lighter skin tone on the other, and the gray falls in between. And then just switch your weight to the other hip. Great, thank you. I choose my lighting tools based on their relative size to the size of the subject and the reflective qualities of the subject. It really comes down to what kind of quality I want to bring out of a subject. There is a lot of technical thought in my lighting. All right, so now what do you get there? As I'm going on, it's definitely trying to know the technical, but don't bring it up on a conscious level and just look at it more on an emotional level. So the only thing I'd really be looking for you on your part, it's kind of like Seinfeld modeling, like modeling doing nothing. So just as long as you end up being comfortable, it's gonna look good. My approach to lighting, I'm actually trying to be less hands-on. I like to leave the space for chance for the subject, hair, makeup, styling, and my light, not to try to completely control everything, to set it up so I can stumble upon something. Moving to something that gives the subject somewhere to move, a platform, a stage where they can move around and we can find a light that actually wasn't planned upon. Let me just show you kind of where I'm at in terms of what I'm digging and it's happening. It's like fashion. This is a portrait view. That's like you know, and that's what I'd rather do. You know, I'd rather take a picture of you and the clothes aren't wearing you. The first stage of my lighting is to set things up in my idea of how I want it to feel. And then we bring the model out and we do a couple frames. And then we have a look and try to just look at it fresh and look at it as a photograph that we'd come upon, and how do we react to that and how do we feel about that. And then I might delve back into my technical side and decide what we're going to enhance and what we're going to avoid. But so it goes back and forth between a technical and an emotional response. So basically from that, I really like the way it looks. I can't shoot you straight dead on because of the way the light reflects off the background, but it looks great. The Creative Light tools today, the Octabank that I chose mimicked somewhat of a skylight. There's somewhat of a direction, but it's soft and there's a source to it, but not too much, and it falls off, and the size of it gives a little bit of reflection in the skin and the floor and the background. And then for the second one, I chose one of the umbrellas just to give a source point at the background to degrade off. There's just a very slight degrade. Almost everything is white, but just a touch of detail off the camera right in the background. And just let that really blast and pump forward and wrap around, and then just slightly bounce it back in with a bit of white. One of the boxes actually, we could turn on a modeling light so I could see and not have that fire and still bounce a bit of that background light in. Worked out perfectly. Many times I'm pleasantly surprised, and it's not something I envisioned, and it's all the better for it.